For the past 8 years, my wife and I have lived in a multi-generational household with our 2 little children and my aging parents. When we tell people of our housing arrangement, we get a range of mixed responses. Oh wow, that's so admirable, but I could never live with my parents. They're too crazy. Really? Why? Man, you got a good setup. I wish I could do that. The funny thing is, in the time period that we've lived together, we've had the exact same thoughts. It's so great having my parents here. They help out with the kids so much. Oh my goodness, I can't handle this anymore. When can we move out? Seriously, why are we doing this? Hi, if you're new to the channel, my name is Tay from Financial Tortoise, a channel dedicated to helping the standard generation reach financial security. We've definitely experienced all ranges of emotions during our multi-generational household journey. I would be lying if I was to say it is for everyone. But before you shut me down, in this video, I want to share with you a few reasons why I ask you to consider it. Reason number 1. Kids are exposed to grandparents' wisdom. One of the big drivers to our decision to cohabitate was due to the challenge of childcare. When my wife was pregnant with our first child, we racked our brains to come up with a workable solution to childcare. Is there a good infant daycare nearby? Should one of us quit our jobs to stay home? Can we make the 30-minute drive every morning to my parents to drop the baby off? In the end, having my mother's help with watching the baby eased our decision to cohabitate. However, it also came with other unexpected child-rearing benefits. My son is now 8, and it's fascinating to watch his interaction with my parents. They are so much calmer and patient with him, something both my wife and I struggled with as we try to juggle our careers as well as being first-time parents. Like any first-time parents would admit, you make so many regrettable mistakes when raising children. You try arguing with a 2-year-old. You lose patience when they don't put on their shoes quickly. You threaten them into eating their breakfast. However, my parents never lost patience with them. They were calm. They listened. It was such a blessing to see my children being exposed to their grandparents' wisdom and calm, slow ways when I couldn't provide it for them in a consistent manner. Such interaction would have been only possible living under one roof, where my parents got to spend so much time with their grandchildren. Reason number 2, allows young parents to focus on their careers. Many young parents struggle with trying to juggle their careers while raising kids. Oftentimes, one of the parents are forced to quit their jobs or significantly cut back their hours due to the challenge of trying to do it all. I give kudos to millions of parents who are still able to hold down a full-time career while raising their kids without any additional family help. I had to do it just a few times when my parents were out of town, and I could not sustain it. Having my parents live with us gave us the ability to focus on our careers. We could leave early in the morning, trusting that my parents would be able to prepare the kids for preschool or daycare. If work required us to stay later than normal times, we could trust that my parents would be able to help with the kids to wind down. Now, we should never abuse this privilege because our parents have a life of their own that we should definitely respect. But the times that they were able to support us with these help was tremendous to our careers. It enabled both my wife and I to grow our careers and income during a time period when more was being demanded of us. The growth enabled us to pay down our student loans of $105,000 in 3.5 years. You can check out our video about our student debt pay down here. And it also helped us reach financial security in our 30s. Real quick, if you're enjoying this video and you want to learn more about personal finance and navigating life as a standard generation, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe and hit the like button because that would really help out the channel. Reason number 3, aging parents feel young again. The fascinating thing about my parents being so patient with my son and daughter was that it was a side of them I had not seen before, especially my father. I don't remember him being very patient with my sister and I growing up. However, something about grandchildren brought out a very calm and gentle side of him. Just as cohabitation has allowed my children to benefit from being exposed to my parents' wisdom, my parents have also benefited from the young ones' energy, innocence, and constant excitement. They've told us that when kids come home after school and are running around with pure optimism, they can't help themselves but feel young again. What's interesting is that we also see this now, not just in multi-generational homes, but in many nursing homes around the country today. These nursing homes are intentionally interacting with daycares because they see the mutual benefit of having elderly with young children that brings so much life and energy. If you also live in a multi-generational household and you have seen a different side of your parents with your own children, please comment below because I would love to hear if you agree with my perspective or if you have any new insight you'd like to share. Reason number 4, financial financial benefit of multi-generational household. There's an economic term called economy of scale. Essentially, as you scale something, like a factory, you can reduce the cost of goods produced. Similar concept can be applied to overhead costs and multi-generational household. It is much more cost-effective to have one bigger mortgage than two smaller mortgages. Of course, this is assuming you don't go out and buy the biggest house you can buy. Instead of paying for 2 utility bills, you pay for one. And for food, instead of buying smaller quantities at the local grocery store, it's much cheaper to purchase bulk at Costco. For my parents and I, the financial benefits of living together have been tremendous. I have a video about more specific savings living in a multi-generational household can provide that you can check out right here. By living in a multi-generational household, my wife and I were able to own a home in very expensive Southern California. It would have probably taken us an additional 10 more years if we were to have tried purchasing a home on our own. In addition, my parents have been able to reduce their overhead housing costs as well, giving them more financial flexibility to spend money on things they enjoy, like going out with friends or spoiling their grandkids with candies. Reason number 5. Increases tolerance. One of our favorite sayings when it comes to our multi-generational household is that there is a cost to everything. We can't have both a built-in nanny and a spotless kitchen. We can't have loving grandparents without some unsolicited parental advice. However, despite the challenges of a multi-generational household, both my wife and I admit that we've grown so much from the experience. We become more tolerant of our generational differences. Instead of saying we'll never understand why my parents behave in a certain way, we had to learn to calm down and try to understand why they behave that way. Without it, there wasn't going to be any semblance of a peaceful household. My parents grew up in a very different time and place. Certainly, growing up in a war-torn country after the Korean War is very different from sunny Orange County. Their perspective of food or time is very different from my wife and I. Just as they try to understand our perspective, we had to learn to understand theirs. Though the conflicts were not pretty, cohabitation forced us to work through them and helped us to better understand each other. And it also allowed us to connect at a much deeper level and become more tolerant and hopefully more mature individuals. Thank you guys for watching. If you found value from this video, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of my other upcoming videos. I firmly believe that being part of the Sandwich generation doesn't have to mean financial stress. With careful planning and preparation, we can thrive during this stage of life. Help me spread the knowledge. Thank you again. I'll see you in my next video.